Hey everybody, I want to make another video real fast about using a host, like let's say GoDaddy, HostGator, One-on-One, there's a ton of them out there, versus using the cloud. Everybody talks about the cloud and everybody is hearing about the cloud these days, but I watch a lot of YouTube videos and I really think people struggle to have people understand this and how it works. And I'll give you an example. I host websites, and usually what I use is I use hosts. I've used all different hosts. I use a lot of GoDaddy hosts. I use a host with GoDaddy quite often, a HostGator, all these different things. But I also use the cloud, and I happen to use Google. I don't use Amazon Web Services. I know Amazon Web Services are probably the biggest one. I think even GoDaddy has web service or has the cloud web service right now. But let me give you some idea how this works. And I'll give you a real world example. Let's say I have a salvage junkyard and I have a bunch of car parts in my back 40 back here. And I want to build an application and I want to put all my inventory online. And I want to build an application. Now, all an application is a code. And I want to build a code, build an application API, and I want to put this application on my website with all my inventory back there, so anybody that downloads my application can see what I have back out here in my backyard that where I'm selling car parts. I've got foreign car parts, I've got American car parts, I've got radiators, I've got everything like that, and I want to build an application for that. And I want to have the application so that anybody could go on that application and add. Not only I could put all my inventory on it, but anybody could put their inventory on it. So let's say the car parts or the auto salvage guy across the street, he can do it too. And not only can he do it, but maybe the backyard mechanic, or maybe the guy that works at UPS that's got a few cars in his backyard, he wants to use it too. Because he's got a few car parts he wants to sell, but he's not in the junkyard business, but he wants to sell a few things. So he wants to put his inventory on my application. So I'm going to develop this thing so anybody can add content or add their inventory to my application. And I'm going to make it so anybody can do it. It's free. Anybody can do it. And then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make this opportunity available to anybody in the country. Anybody in the country that wants to add their inventory or their auto car parts or their salvage yard parts to this application could do it. And then I'm going to have another side. I'm going to have a client side where people can go online and they can search for those parts. So I'm going to have the server side, the database with all the inventory, and then I'm going to have the client side where people could go find the stuff. Okay, when I put my inventory on there, it's pretty small. But when the guy across the street puts his inventory in, the UPS guy puts his inventory in, and then everybody in the country starts adding inventory because this is a pretty cool application. Everybody wants to be able to search for auto parts on this application because it's all free. You don't have to pay somebody $500 a month to be on their system. Now you can do it for free. It's open source. Everybody wants to do it. Well, that's scalability. When I had my application on there, I only need a few servers, maybe one server, no redundancies. But if everybody starts adding their parts to this, I need more server space, and now I can scale it up. I can do that on the cloud. I can't do that with a VPN or VPS with GoDaddy, because VPS, a virtual private server, or just a regular server host, because it's not going to be able to scale up to the kind of bandwidth that I'm going to need in order to have all this activity that I'm creating. So that's the beauty about the cloud. The other beauty about the cloud is that, let's say when I build my application, I want to be able to build another application where I want to let people know about this opportunity that I've made available with my application for them to add auto parts to or salvage auto parts to this code or to this API that I built. So now I want to go out on the internet and I want to scrape meaning use Google Map, or maybe some other, I could use Google Plus, which is Google's social network, and I could look for all the auto salvage parts, or auto salvage yards in a certain geographic location. Maybe everybody in the state of Nebraska, or everybody in the state of Montana, or something like that. So I can build an application, and I can use that. I can overlay that application onto using the cloud, I can use that and I can build something, integrating it with Google Maps or Google Plus, or maybe scrape from Facebook, or I can scrape from other places. And I can pull all that information and make my application known to them as far as the opportunity to put their auto parts on this application. That's the beauty of the cloud. The cloud gives you those opportunities. I couldn't do that with GoDaddy hosting. So what the cloud does is it gives you more tools in order to develop applications or APIs in order to build stuff like this. And I've watched people try to code this kind of stuff online, and what they do is they end up coding it for a while, and then they end up making a mistake, and they got to go back and recode. It gets really complicated, and you can kind of get lost in what they're doing. But that's the real power of what this is the power of the cloud, is to have all this power to develop this kind of stuff. And of course, there's opportunities endlessly. I mean, you just think about this. Everything, think of Uber. All Uber did is just come up with saying somebody needs a ride and somebody's got a car willing to give a ride. And now all we need to do is get the two together. And we've got somebody that's got a mobile device and somebody else has got a mobile device. All we got to do is connect the two together. Just like in my hypothetical about auto parts. I got somebody that needs an auto part and somebody that's got an auto part. How do we get them together? You can do it very easy on the internet because you've got the connectability. And then you got the code, being able to code. All coding is, a simple definition of coding is the ability to communicate with a machine, and that machine being a server. So the ability to put information on a server and have that server be able to display that information, that's coding. And, I think of coding sometimes as, a pile of lumber over here. And all the coder does is he takes the lumber, he just shapes the lumber into whatever it is you're trying to build, like a house or a barn or a building or anything like that. That's how coding is. It's just taking the code and making it do something, developing something, making something out of the tools that it is that you're given. So that's what it is. That's the cloud. The cloud is the ability to do those kind of applications and do those kind of things. They call APIs. So, I hope it didn't get too complicated. I hope it didn't make it too complicated, but it's really technology, and it's the way of the future, and it's what things people need to know. If the world was up to me, I'd quit teaching algebra, geometry, and whatever other kind of calculus, whatever other kind of mathematics people teach, they teach in universities, and start teaching people how to code. Because the code, coding is so valuable for building these things. And if you know how to code, you can build almost anything that your mind can think of to develop. And I've heard a lot of people talk about this. David Heinemeier Hansson, who developed the Rails part of Ruby, the Ruby language. All Rails is some files that you can use. It's a shortcut for developing code. One of the things that happens with that is that there's no redundancies, and it's something that's very, so you don't waste a lot of time retyping retyping stuff that then it's object oriented. There's a lot of information about it if you want to check it out. I would definitely, by all means, if you're interested in coding, check out Ruby on Rails. So anyway, I hope that's a little bit of an explanation of the cloud versus regular hosting. Like I say, I searched this the other night on Google and I couldn't really find anybody who had a really good definition of it. So I threw my 2 cents in. Thanks.